Hi guys, my name is Senate Luch and I'm here to talk to you today about what I'm guessing is your first DUI offense. I'm sorry to hear it happen to you. I know you're probably stressed out, confused, not really knowing what to do next. So I'm going to try and help you with that. First of all, let's talk about your car. If your car got towed, go get it at an impound as soon as you can. Look, it's expensive. You're going to probably be surprised at how much it's going to cost. I mean, it ranges from a few $100 to $500 maybe, depending on the city in Washington you're in. But just get that figured out. I know today, if you just got it last night, it's going to be a stressful day, okay? Next, let's talk about your first court appearance. And that's typically called an arraignment or a first appearance in court. So, first thing you should do, hopefully you've had time to go talk to a competent DUI attorney, okay? But if not, let's go through the video and just assume that. So go to your court appearance. You're not going to be alone. There's going to be a lot of people there, trust me. You're going to be freaking out no matter what I tell you. I wish I could make that go away for you, but I can't. I know that after years of experience. So you'll go into the courtroom with all the other people. A judge should come out, read your rights. Hopefully, if you're lucky, a few people are going to go ahead of you and you're going to see how it works and maybe calm down just a little bit. But when it's your turn, they're going to call you up to a podium, a set of tables. You'll see the area, or they'll direct you. They're going to ask your name and some basic information, maybe address, things like that. They just want to make sure you are the person actually in the report. And typically, they want to make sure that you understand English and some other things. After that, they're going to make a probable cause determination. Now, I'm going to give you the easy definition of that today, okay, which just means, do they have a legitimate legal reason to have you in court? That's not the actual textbook definition, but it's good enough for today. The answer to that is usually going to be yes. No matter what arguments we have, usually yes, but we can worry about that topic later, okay? Next, the prosecutor in the courtroom is going to stand up and read all the facts about you. And guess what? They're probably going to be the bad facts, things you don't want to hear. You're probably going to notice that, wow, I don't remember it that way, something like that. Don't worry about it on that day, okay? Let that go. We're not there to argue that day. Our mission is, believe it or not, to enter a not guilty plea. No matter how you feel about your personal guilt that day, enter a not guilty plea. Please just trust me on that. That's the way our system works. You won't be punished for it later, anything like that. Just enter the plea. Don't argue the case, okay? The next issue after that is going to be talking about release conditions. Now, the first thing with release conditions is they're going to give you probably the general ones. And again, some of this will vary depending on what city in Washington you're in, but this should cover it generally. First, they're going to say don't drink and drive, obviously. They're going to say don't drive without a license, don't drive without insurance. Okay, those are kind of no-brainers, I think everyone would tell you. So after that, then they can maybe, depending on the facts of your case, your age, and some other factors, determine if they're going to say no possession or consumption of alcohol or any drugs without prescription, of course. A little segue here. If you work for a restaurant, a bar, or any kind of store that sells alcohol, that can be a real issue for you. So get that straightened out. Hopefully you've got a DUI attorney with you that can address that to the court, but don't let that slide. You don't want to violate these pretrial release conditions, because later, if it gets found out, you can be put in jail or have some other kind of sanction put on you. So you really want to be careful about that and get those things straight early on, okay? So a few other conditions. They may put on a condition to have an ignition interlock system put in your car so you can drive. That really is going to depend on what city you're in. In Washington, we do cases in Seattle, Bellevue, and we also do them on the east side of the state in Spokane. So it really just depends where you're at. Additionally, they can put devices in your house or even on your body, believe it or not, to make sure that you're not drinking or that you're checking in and they're verifying that you're complying with the pretrial release conditions the judge has set. Other things they can do is make you take urinalysis tests. They can make you do some kind of random breath test with the probation department or some other agency. We like to argue against those things for you because it's a real inconvenience, and it's costly, frankly. It's very costly, so it's worth getting those things off of you. It could save you hundreds, maybe even thousands, depending on your case. I don't know. And those typically are the normal things. Now, can they set a bail bond for you? Yes, they can, theoretically. Typically, they won't, unless you've got some history or you had some really bad facts in your DUI. You know, again, this is something that we'd be able to sit down with you and talk to you about on a case-by-case basis, but theoretically it's possible. If you were released the night before, they're probably not going to set a bail, okay, but it is possible. All right, so after you've gone through all that, they're going to give you your next court dates, okay? We'll talk about that later. I should have an article or another video on that to help you with. You're always welcome to call us, and I'll sit you down and go through all of those things with you if you like. Now, one last issue before we part here is Department of Licensing. The arresting officer should have given you a couple white pieces of paper addressing how to request a hearing with Department of Licensing. Now, I'm not going to go into that right now, and again, we'll have some other content, a video on that for you to help you out, or again, you can call, we'll go through it. But the important thing here is that you've got those pieces of paper, and you need to understand that the clock is running. You only have 20 days from the date of arrest. Okay, so that's got to be made within 20 days. Or you're going to lose your license automatically, because you can lose it with the courts and you can lose it with Department of Licensing. We'll go into that in more detail later, but please be aware of that. It drives me crazy when clients come in, you know, after that period has elapsed, and I can't go fight for them on that issue. We can usually find some good arguments there, so please don't let that go by. Please call a lawyer and figure it out. I hope this helps you a little bit. I know it's still going to be stressful no matter what I say, right? So feel free to call us. My name's Senate Luchin. I'm with Action Legal Group. I'm happy to help you. Thanks very much.